If you examine modern horror movies, video games, or heavy metal albums, you will inevitably encounter the ultimate forbidden book. It is a terrifying archetype, presented as a repository of black magic, containing the rituals necessary to tear the universe apart. Outside of fiction, persistent rumors maintain that real copies of this dangerous text are kept under strict lock and key in the restricted sections of prestigious institutions, like the Vatican or Harvard University. Antiquarian booksellers are regularly hounded by naive collectors, desperately trying to procure a first edition. But there is a slight complication. The book does not exist. The entire concept was invented by the early 20th century weird fiction writer H.P. Lovecraft. By the 1930s, Lovecraft explicitly admitted in his correspondence with fans that the book was an imaginative invention. Since the creator publicly identified it as a hoax, its appearance in a 1996 Florida courtroom is a significant anomaly. It was entered into evidence as a motive in a brutal murder trial, treated as a lethal ideological weapon. When a story perfectly encapsulates our darkest anxieties, we will readily override empirical facts to pull that fiction out of the shadows and treat it as reality. Lovecraft engineered his mythology using a deliberate strategy called pseudo-authenticity. He anchored his cosmic absurdities directly into the highly recognizable framework of real-world antiquarian scholarship. This timeline illustrates the fake history Lovecraft drafted. He claimed the text was penned around 730 CE by Abdul al-Hazred. To lend authority, he wove its journey through actual figures like Olaus Wormius and claimed it was banned by Pope Gregory IX in 1232. A major component of his method relies on what he withheld. Lovecraft never actually wrote the book. He only provided readers with terrifying fragments and vague allusions. When a horror cannot be fully seen, the human mind automatically works to fill in the empty spaces. By refusing to codify the exact contents, Lovecraft allowed every individual reader to project their own individualized fears into the text. By providing a rigid historical framework, but withholding the actual content, he built an empty vessel perfectly engineered to capture human terror. Lovecraft encouraged a network of pulp fiction writers to reference the text in their independent stories. This cross-pollination built a convincing cycle of synthetic folklore. Because the book was being cited by multiple authors across dozens of publications, the illusion blurred the lines of reality. In the 1960s, a student successfully smuggled a meticulously forged index card into the physical card catalog of the Yale University Library. Capitalizing on the public demand for the book, a publisher released the Simon Necronomicon in 1977 as a functional grimoire for serious occult practice. This image shows a genuine ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablet, representing the historical antiquities hijacked for this commercial hoax. The author plagiarized actual Sumerian protective spells, originally used to exorcise demons, and inverted the English descriptions. To an untrained reader, it looked exactly like a conjuration spell. Folklorists use the term ostension to describe the performative enactment of a myth. People bought the book and began physically acting out the rituals. For individuals seeking meaning in subcultural occult circles, the fabrication of the text is secondary to its psychological utility. Chanting a spell from a fake book can still produce a genuine spike of adrenaline or a strong sense of personal empowerment. The moment that subjective psychological experience occurs, the historical origin ceases to matter. The performative act instantly converts a fictional prop into an artifact of lived reality. The mythology eventually proved far too potent to remain confined to the shadowy corners of the occult underground. The concept of the forbidden book bled into mainstream culture, becoming a versatile trope adapted across all mediums of popular culture. In the 1980s, director Sam Raimi completely reimagined the book's aesthetic for the Evil Dead film franchise. He transformed it from a dusty academic encyclopedia into a viscerally repulsive object, bound in human flesh, cementing its modern visual identity. Today, the lore is so deeply embedded and trusted in the digital landscape that cybercriminals actively exploit it. Advanced fee fraudsters have been known to pose as researchers from Lovecraft's fictional Miskatonic University to target specific demographics in online scams. Sociologist Adam Hassamai categorizes this phenomenon as hyper-real religion, a simulacrum of faith created in symbiosis with commodified popular culture. This occurs when people construct belief systems by deliberately detaching a fictional lore from its original narrative frame and assigning it empirical validity in the real world. We see this with modern groups practicing Jediism from Star Wars or Matrixism. The Necronomicon stands as the quintessential hyper-real artifact. It is a symbol pointing to a physical object that never actually existed. In a secular, modern world, a belief system does not require a legitimate historical lineage to function. It only requires a narrative compelling enough to capture our universal fear of the unknown.